increase in certainly some sections in the stadium. We've always spoken to the fact that we're going to increase, I don't say slightly anymore, based upon last year, but we're always likely to increase prices year to year. It's not an uncommon practice, but, excuse me, we looked at some of these sections and we made some steep adjustments in some of those sections. A couple things we kept in mind when doing so. One, we still wanted to make sure that a get-in-the-door price was something that we thought was reasonable. You can get to a Sounders game in the door for less than $25. We thought that was fairly reasonable. We also, just to make sure, 75% of the seats in the building had a price increase heading into 2018. There were 25% of those seats that decreased or stayed flat. And we wanted to make sure that in those areas that saw a higher than average increase, that there were adjacent sections that were less or that showed a decrease. I also will tell you that our renewal rate this year heading into next was about the same as it always has been. So despite what we knew to be a rather hefty increase in some section in the stadium, the renewal rate remained about the same. We also can say that the renewal rate in the sections that we increased, maybe a bit more, it was less. And we certainly went into this pricing structure and strategy session fully knowing that. But not surprisingly, the sections adjacent to those sections, we saw like an increase in the renewal rate. So there's a lot of equation and formula that goes into why we do it and how we do. But we always, I can assure you in the back of our mind is a couple things. One, the get-in-the-door price. Two, the fact that we were very bullish on if we're going to do this in certain sections, we really felt a strong need to decrease pricing, which to my knowledge we have not done before. Some sections decreased in price. I think, in fact, some of the folks on council's section decreased in price. But again, all done under the guise of how can we grow revenues, and the revenues that we are growing, we are then able to provide those funds to the soccer side of things. And I mean, it's hard to argue with the success on the field, and to some extent, a great extent, a lot of that is the fact that we have a lot of season ticket holders, for which we're very, very thankful. And we don't want to lose anyone. That is not an easy thing to go find a new season ticket holder. So our goal is not to, hey, let's jack up prices and have a real low renewal rate. Certainly not our thinking. So a couple different thoughts on the pricing side of things.
I'd like to put a little perspective on it from 30,000 feet, which is I haven't looked up the pricing on Atlanta that just came in, or Minnesota, but I can say that we are never higher than the top 7 in terms of ticket pricing, purposely. So there's always 6 or 7 teams ahead of us. There may be 8 or 9 teams now, because I know LAFC is going to have to charge a pretty penny. So we purposely make sure that we are not anywhere close to the top ticket price. The second thing is we say we run a business. It's kind of an unusual business that we run. We zero base our business so that we figure out what our revenue is going to be, and then in the end it adds up to 0. So